everyone. He's Kevin Kauffman. I'm Fred Weaver. We are Group 4610, part of eXp Realty. And Kevin, I think we've been getting some questions recently from folks that we want to talk about today.
Yeah. So one question that we've heard a lot recently, Fred, is, hey, what's going on for me as a seller, right? We've got a lot of news, a lot of conflicting information out there in the news space, if you will. But what's the truth for me in the Phoenix market when it comes to selling my home?
Yeah, well, we talked about this in another video we did recently, Kevin, but contract activity dropped almost 49% during a 6-week period of time between March and April, right? So there was a big slowdown in the market. People were taking their homes off the market, not sure if they wanted people to look at them during the rise, if you will, of COVID. There was also just a slowdown of buyers looking at houses. But that slowdown is gone. The increase in contract activity is incredible news for sellers. I mean, we just had a home, Kevin, that we listed over the weekend that sold with multiple offers in like 2 days or less, right?
Yep.
So we are seeing that if you have a home right now, because of the influx and the activity of buyers, that you can position yourself right now to truly get what I would consider to be top dollar for your home.
Yeah, I think the one thing we have to consider though as sellers in our current market is there are fewer cash buyers out there, right? So there's fewer, which means most likely, not for sure, most likely it means there's fewer investors who are going to be offering top dollar for what we'll call as is condition to the property compared to say 10, 12 weeks ago, pre-COVID, if you will. So what this does is it creates a little more pressure, if you will, on the homeowner or the seller to fix things, to possibly offer concessions that the normal, I'm going to say the normal or the end user buyer, who the person who's going to move into the home would like to have or would need to have for that desired price range. So just a couple of things to think about. It is pretty much all good news. We've got demand. Demand is really high. So we've got a lot of buyers out there who want to buy homes. It's a great time to list your home. And we know that we're gonna have to give a little bit when it comes to the condition of the property as opposed to pre-COVID, where there was a lot more investors out there willing to pay cash, who will waive those things, which then puts the pressure on the average family, if you will, who's going to buy a house to live in, puts pressure on them to waive those things as well. And that's seems to have dried up for now.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are great thoughts. One other thought I would add before we end is that, of course, some of the statements I made are indicative of the whole market. But when you start looking into certain price points, the average homeowner lives in a house that is valued at less than $500,000 in the Phoenix area, right? Our median price is around three. But when you start looking at houses over 500,000, the numbers do change a little bit. So if you're in a position where maybe you're thinking of selling, or you want to sell, or you're wondering if now is a good time to sell your home that's valued at over 500,000, this may or may not be the best time. Now, that depends too. Certain cities with homes over 500,000 are performing better than other cities. So we'd love to share some of the information with you, but just know that contract activity for homes over 500,000 in the greater Phoenix area, it's up over what it was in March and April, but it's still down about 30% from the peak that we saw here early in 2020. So if you're thinking of selling, reach out to us. We'd love to consult with you directly on what your options are and specific to what's going on in your neighborhood, in your zip code, in your city, right? Because things obviously are very different city by city, neighborhood by neighborhood.